home. Let's do this job.
But Conor Cummins into his hometown.
Hasn't wasted any time making his way up there.
Back wheel from Conor Cummins to Carmichael. The man is trying.
Across the line, has he done enough to hold on from his teammate David Todd? He has. Cummins, the Manxman, takes a podium in the senior TT.
Our tale begins in the middle of the Irish Sea, on a small island that most of the year is just a normal, peaceful island. But for 2 weeks out of each year, it becomes the mecca for a motorcycle rider around the world. The reason? The Tourist Trophy.
Yeah. Look over on the right-hand side for your starter. And finally we're away for TT25.
Yesterday show how the whole wide world says, let it go.
On the 27th of May of 1986, Conor is born. This is also the practice week of the 8th edition of the Tourist Trophy. And as luck would have it, in the same edition where the most horrific accidents in TT history would happen.
There's no alarm about Brian Reid, but very definitely the machine seized as he came down to here. And here now
Worse
is
is to follow as Gene McDonnell approaches the notorious Balaf.
But it was always obvious that Paget has got the ability. He just needs to rely a bit. Oh my God, fathers! Oh dear, this is a very serious accident here. Very serious accident here. I'll return you to the Rothmans comedy box at the grandstand.
The helicopter taking Reid to hospital has startled a pony, which bolts right into McDonnell's path. The rider is killed instantly.
Ian Ogden, Alan Jarvis, Andy Cooper, and Gene McDonnell. Those are the names of the 4 riders that died during the 1986 edition of the Tourist Trophy. William Billy Cummins, a farmer from the south of Ireland, he moved to the Isle of Man with his family. He started to compete in the late 70s, early 80s, and by 1986 he had done several road races, and most noticeably 3 Manx GP and 1 TT. He only stopped competing in 2024, in his late 60s, early 70s, but despite his age, he still managed to qualify 20th in the 2024 Manx GP, with an average lap of 104 miles per hour.
No, that's where I've, like, my dad raced since he was 16 years of age, and then my uncle Tynan, he did Newcomers Manx and Manx Grand Prix, and now my uncle Lawrence, he does club racing as well, so you often find my dad and my uncle Lawrence having ding-dongs on the track. It's actually quite entertaining to watch. So, but yeah, our family just loves bikes.
At just 4 years old, Conor got a small motocross bike, and just like his family, the boy was hooked. From 4 years old to 13, he raced motocross, mostly around the Isle of Man. Occasionally, he would travel to the mainland for some club races, but due to the financial commitment needed to travel, he would mainly race in the Isle of Man.
Yeah, there's a few. Just it was all scrambling back then. It wasn't quite motocross is all like whips
Corporate
and stuff now, and I can't do that. So that's how I got into it, really. Well, when the ACU relaxed their rules, so back then you could be like 15 and you could do road racing, and it was like there's certain rules, great. But then at that time, just as I was turning 13, they relaxed it so 13-year-olds could road race, and this is brilliant. So that's when I jumped on a 125. I know it's hard to believe, and I got going on a 125. So that's where it all sort of kicked off.
At 16 years old, Conor got the opportunity to test a 600cc Kawasaki, and boy oh boy did it feel right at home. In that same season, he rode that bike for the remainder of the season, while juggling a 125 also. so he's racing both bikes at the same time. And remember, one is GP shift and the other one is regular shift.
Locally on the island at Derby there,
Right.
I'd race a 125 and this 600 and opposite shift, so between each bike. Caught me out a couple of times, but we got over that little hurdle, but I just felt totally at home in a 600, so that's where I sort of focused on.
The fact he felt right at home on that 600 gave him the confidence to a few years later enter the 2004 R6 Cup. In his first season he managed a 6th place position. The second season he finished 9th overall. Then 2006 rolled around.
That was 04. I was in a cast and on crutches, and me, my dad and my cousin Danny and his granddad jumped in a little single prop plane, flew from Andreas in the Isle of Man into a place called Castle Rock, which was a real sketchy landing, might I add. And it was, and then we stayed at the hangar and went to the Northwest 200 to watch. So we were going around the coast road there towards the finish line on my crutches, and these bikes coming past, I was thinking, this is a bit of me. This is awesome. And I actually considered putting an entry in for 05 on a bike, but I was talked out of it by a sponsor, rightfully so. I was really young at that stage. Like, anyway, I waited another 12 months and stuck an entry in.
From 2006 to 2009, his rise from a relatively unknown rider to being in the top steps of the podium was nothing short of spectacular. In the span of just 4 years, he went from a rookie to one of the best riders in the sport, with most noticeably in 2009, the worst result for the season was a top 10 finish in the first race of the week at the Isle of Man TT.
Conor Cummins, the Isle of Man rider, he's fast, really very fast. Oh, he's down! Cummins, he's down!
I took the lead from Ryan just as I was coming out of the corner. Back end sort of stepped out on me and high-sided me over the top of the bike. And I was, really, really lucky to come away unhurt there. I just had to pick myself up. I got, dusted myself down, straight out on the bike in the next race, and fall off a horse, get straight back on it.
After a small crash, Conor gets back on the bike and finished second, missing the top step by just 0.2 of a second.
You told Conor Cummins you were going to stay second if you were second in junior, but I think that's it, over and done with. How close was that top three?
Brilliant ride there for John McGuinness. He said he didn't like the conditions, but they came to him. Conor Cummins did a really good job, and Alistair Seeley came from that third row.
2 weeks later, Isle of Man. First race of the week, Superbikes.
This man, Conor Cummins, a local boy.
I tell you, mate, honestly, that's early on the stage, that is. That's just before Ballacrane. Look, he's always pulled 10 seconds on him already. He's on it. Go on, Conor. Oh, look at that.
There we go, end of lap 2. It looks like this. Conor Cummins leads by 16 seconds from Ian Hutchinson, Guy Martin, Michael Dunlop, Adrian Archibald and Ian Locker in 6th. Sits up, slows down, 60 kilometres.
Hits the
and off to
limiter.
his pit. Yeah, all these bikes fitted with pit lane speed limit devices where they press a button and in first gear the bike won't go over 60 kilometres an hour. Guy Martin in, also Michael Dunlop in. It's getting crowded in there.
Yeah, you can see Conor's very far down the pits there. He's a long way down. He's actually, the pit goes down a little bit at the bottom there,
Yep.
so he's a little bit out of range down the bottom. He's taking a good drink in there as well.
New tyres going in, fuel going in, new rear tyres going in for all these boys.
Hutchie's away, nice. That was a quick
Donald in.
pit stop for Hutchie there, wasn't it?
Yep.
Here we go.
Not such a good one.
Oh, what's happened?
Problems.
What's happened there?
Bike stalled, the bike stalled. You're
Come on,
gonna have to
you can't get into neutral gear there, look.
No.
Look,
Something
this
wrong.
just won't
It's
go
a
into...
clutch problem.
What's
Going now.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
So at the end of lap 40, it looks like this. Conor Cummins leads by 21 seconds from Ian Hutchinson, but that pit stop will have cost Conor Cummins time. And then Guy Martin in 3rd, Michael Dunlop 4th, Adrian Archibald holds on to 5th, and Cameron Donald holds on to 6th.
On board with Conor again. Here we go. Into the trees, into the Glen Helen section. Look how fast he's going. Yeah. Oh, look. Hang on, though. He's set up.
Oh, he's
What's
definitely
going on?
slowed down.
Oh, he's looking. Oh,
Yeah.
no. That's him. He's out.
It looks
what
terminal
a
to
shame.
me.
What a shame. He's 20-odd seconds in front and he had that pit stop.
And that's him finished.
Oh, look at him. Oh, the poor lad. He had that in the bag, Jamie. He had that in the bag.
The local boy.
Oh, look at him dejected.
What do you reckon, clutch?
I think so. Clutch or gearbox.
After the heartbreak of race 1, Conor wasn't discouraged, and he also showed that he had the speed to win a TT.
For him, he's on the Wilcox Consulting Honda. So at the end of lap 1, you can see Farquhar has nearly a 7-second lead over Michael Dunlop, Hutchinson third, Cummins, Keith Amor and John McGuinness in 6th. And look at this, number 10, Conor Cummins on Cameron Donald. He's right on his back wheel into the veranda. And he's round him. That was very impressive.
It was, and
We've got here trying to get past someone on some of the sections is really difficult. Conor Cummins, look at him, buried in there at 6'4", and he's got everything tucked in. There it is, and then it is 5.54 seconds the lead at the moment. Cummins there in 3rd, McGuinness 4th, Martin and Amor very close together in 5th and 6th.
After a disappointing finish to the Superbike race with a mechanical failure, Conor came back and managed a 3rd place finish in the Superstock. But the next 2 races were Supersport 1 and 2, not his favorite bikes. He still managed the top 10 in both races. But now is the big one, the Senior TT. And this TT was about to go down in history as one of the most dramatic TTs ever.
Every second synchronized. We draw borders in the dark, measure fear in broken sparks. Every move is calculated, nothing random, nothing wasted. Hold it steady, hold the frame, keep the fire in its cage. This is controlled chaos, fire in a closed hand, breaking but unbroken we stand, exactly where we planned. Controlled chaos.
Martin was Conor Cummins who said the pace with an opening lap speed of 131.18.
Second from number 10, Conor Cummins. There's only 0.06 to a second then between him and number 4, Ian Hutchinson, with John McGuinness just 0.74 of a second down on him. So 1.5 seconds cover the top 4 here. And a tight line in for number 8, Guy Martin. 131 mile an hour lap for Guy, 131.108. That's Guy Martin's fastest lap ever around the mountain course, and he's absolutely on song today.
But what was developing into a thrilling race suddenly came to a stop after the race was red flagged. Guy Martin had come off his bike, the bike had caught fire, and the fire brigade were at the scene. The riders were called back to Parc Ferme, where they waited anxiously.
After the fire was put out, the race was able to be resumed, and this proved like a second win for Conor. Conor came out of that starting gate like a bat out of hell. He was doing best sector after best sector.
Looking so good for the first couple of laps. He's got to keep it together for the full race today.
And just like in this clip from Hutchie, felt like a warning. Hutchie in veranda almost lost the front wheel, and a few riders later, Conor came by. And the rest, well, the rest you already saw it.
So I had 5 fractured vertebrae in my back, 2 were unstable, so I had to have rods and screws, shattered humerus, I had a nerve palsy, when they called it, so it put me wrist to sleep, and then I had a dislocated knee, but it's just ripped all the tendons, ligaments and stuff, so I was actually quite lucky to keep my lower leg, because when it happened, it was like the guy tended to me on the track or the mountain. He
halfway down to Lax, he's so nice.
He said he couldn't feel a pulse in my foot, because he said that's how he noticed. That's how he noticed my knee was dislocated. So he had to pop it back in, and I had a fractured pelvis. I actually met the marshal, a guy called Mike Clegg, who was on the corner that I crashed on, and he's from Laxey, which is just down the valley from where I actually went off the bloody mountain.
Yeah.
And he said that I actually was bang on line, didn't do anything wrong. He said, but right at the time that you came around the corner, the wind picked up. It was quite strong. And he said it went really cold.
Look, the years that follow were a mix between good results and bad results. He was always riding on top 10s and getting second and third places. And he did break the barrier of 133 miles per hour, but it's still not good enough for the win. And I mean, he's going to get it. I do really think he's going to get it because, let's be honest, he's 39 years old. He's still young in road racing years. The fact this year is going to be racing as a rider and also as a team manager, it shows that he's actually committed to the sport in a very, very different way. So I hope this is the year he gets a win, because if there's anyone that deserves one, it's him. Yeah, and I guess that's it. I mean, if you make it to the end, thank you. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. It's up to you. And check the links in the description for more information about him. I'll link his Instagram, the podcast, and anything I can find about him that I used in the video. So yeah, thank you for watching.